Friends, who suffers most from the climate crisis? It is the poor. Recently, it is being said that poor people or the people of the low income group countries are 4 times more likely to suffer from the climatic crisis or ecological crisis, be it displacement and be it humanitarian crisis like drought and like lack of food, like lack of livelihood, etc., etc. The real issue is that who are the biggest polluters of the globe at the moment and who are suffering. It is the poor. It is Pakistan that is witnessing this historical and monstrous floods that has literally turned into an unmanaged humanitarian crisis wherein hundreds are killed and millions are displaced and millions of homeless at the moment. Therefore, Pakistan as a country having probably less than 1% of carbon emissions compared to the global giants, but bearing the brunt of the climate crisis. Therefore, started by or caused by the richer ones, and the yield of that, the fruit of that, is being reaped by the poor in terms of either drought, or floods, extreme storms, extreme weather conditions. Crops are burning, there are no rains at all, and when there are rains it turns into floods. Therefore, the whole politics of carbon emissions has to be very serious. It has not to be buying carbon emission politics by the rich ones, by the high income group countries of the globe, and in turn the suffering people of the third world, as earlier used to be the term, now low income group countries. They are suffering, they are bearing the brunt of the climate crisis. Therefore, carbon emissions and world's biggest polluters have to be made accountable. They may be boasting about their aid policies to these poor so-called poor countries, but actually they must understand that disturbing the ecological balance and disturbing the climate in turn is hurting badly the poorer section of the globe, be it African nations or be it the poor in Asia. Carbon emissions and zero carbon emission cannot be further prolonged to decades of deadlines, almost impossible deadlines, that once we get rich and then we will stop and go for a zero carbon emission. It has to be started now. It cannot be delayed, because you are keeping poor human lives at stake just for your capitalistic and economic gains. A poor country like Pakistan is currently bearing the brunt of the climate crisis. And friends, mind it, it is the ecological, it is not just the social inequalities, it is the ecological inequality as well that's getting established. Therefore, personal is political here as well. Climate crisis affects people personally, but that translates largely into a political issue, and it has to be tackled like that. We need that climate friendly technology, we need that tech mechanism, we need those renewable sources of energy, we need complete zero carbon emissions, and we need to heal that climate. Then and only then can we talk about real humanity. Otherwise it's all politics, and poor are being literally thrown into the furnace of climate crisis. Thank you so much.